It was my 8th grade year. I remember staying after school one day, waiting for my ride to come at the front of the school building at the top of the steps. And it was like it was nobody around, like nobody near me. All of a sudden, I see this guy at the bottom of the steps. He happens to be a well known drug dealer in the school. So when I see him, I had this nervousness because every time I'd seen him throughout the school, he always had some type of erratic behavior. But I'm just like, okay, he's not going to even notice me. I'm 8th grade. I wear braces. I'm not popular. I'll just melt into these steps and hopefully he'll just kind of walk by me. So as he's approaching, he says, "What's up?" And I say, "Hi." And I kind of look to the side. So he walks past me and I'm like relieved because I'm like, okay, good. But he stopped and he turned and he came back down and he said, "Hey." And I kind of jumped and kind of looked at him and he kind of pulled my chin. It was just like, the next time a nigga say something to you, you better speak. And I was just like, I said, "Hey." And he just stared at me. And I felt my eyes like welling up. But I was like trying to fight crying. I didn't want him to see me crying. And I just remember seeing his eyes. And I could describe his face today. But I just remember looking at his eyes and they were just like really hollow. And it was almost like it wasn't until he saw the tears in my eyes that he let me go. Now, that was when I was in the 8th grade. I was 13, 14, maybe. I'm in my 40s now. And I'll never forget that moment. It still bothers me when I think about it. But my takeaway from that day was some men, not all men, but some men are trying to find a place to rest their trauma. They're looking for a way to get back at whatever woman in their life, be it their mom, significant other, maternal figure, whatever. They are looking for somebody to pay for what happened to them. And like I said, the guy, it's almost like he felt vindicated once he saw the tears in my eyes. And then because he was just like, yeah, yeah. And he eventually went on. Now, by no means does my story compare at all to Carlisha Hood and what she had to endure. When she walked into that restaurant, I know that she wasn't thinking, she's about to get into an altercation with someone that would lead to her son shooting him. I know if she had it to do all over again, she probably would have got her food and left. And that's a moment in her life that she will probably think about for the rest of her life. On that day, not only did someone beat her like a man, but that day, her son became a man. He lost his innocence and his youth that day. I say all that to say when I watched the footage and I saw Jeremy Brown's face, I saw that hollowness, I saw that emptiness. Hopefully the takeaway for women, specifically black women, is that there are some men that are looking for a woman to take their anger and aggression out on, and it's satisfying to them. Black women have to do what is necessary to protect themselves in those instances. By no means is Carlisha Hood to blame for raising her voice or for, arguing back and forth. She's not to blame. But also we do have to understand that there's no reasoning with some of these men out here. If that means grabbing your food and leave to make sure that you and your son get home okay, that's what you got to do. That may not be an opinion held by many, because we always like to think, well, we should be able to say what we want to say. Yeah, you can say what you want to say, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be received in the way that you're trying to give it. Another takeaway as a black woman is to understand that we can't encourage this type of behavior. When Jeremy Brown's girlfriend was egging him on, and that was almost giving him the right to continue what he was doing. It was his decision at the end of the day, but her encouragement definitely did not help, and it definitely played a part. And my final takeaway is that you can't depend on the hearts of other people to actually stand up and intervene as it relates to a black woman.